believe it, man. I can believe it, but I can't believe it.
I think this guy just has that it factor.
That was so cool to hear, like, as a player.
Commanders family, it is draft time, and we're kicking things off with the Shrine Bowl. Now, Logan Paulson is not in studio, but that's because he's on remote, being the prospect professor that he is. But we don't just have the prospect professor, we also have the draft guru in Fred Smoot. We look at Fred Smoot's draft big board and break down some of his top 10 prospects. And Commanders family, it is almost time for the Super Bowl, which means it's also time for the Pro Bowl. We spent some time giving flowers to our punter, Tress Way, who will be a Pro Bowl starter for the third time in his career. All that and more right now on Command Center. Welcome into Command Center from the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. We're down a guy. We're going to be hearing from him real soon. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. Here with Santana Moss and Fred Smoot. Logan Paulson is remote doing draft things as our draft guru, Fred.
No.
I know you miss your boy.
You needed me and Tanner to talk about this because, Logan didn't get drafted, so he couldn't have much to talk about.
My goodness. Moving forward, because y'all did get drafted, shout out to my guy, Logan. Much like the brother back here, Josh Connolly Jr., was going through this draft process. I think it's so fly that y'all both went through this draft process at the same time.
Yeah.
Classmates, when you think back to those good old days, man, what do y'all think about during this draft process, Tanner?
I mean, I remember just, man, like, I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember like years before that, man, I barely got into college. You know what I mean?
Wow.
When it comes to the back door, I was getting in through the back door as a walk-on. And then now I'm leaving out the front door, potentially about to be a first-round draft pick. And I say potentially, but I was a first-round draft pick. But around this time, I didn't know for sure until they called my name. But, man, it was one of those things. But once I got there, I knew it was downhill from there.
Yeah, he's right, because I was in junior college. I remember sitting in junior college watching these guys play football, and now I get on the same level, and now I'm walking into the draft is topping my position, and it's different because as much as you living the dream at that time, you still excited to take the steps to get there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just
finish
finishing school,
Yeah.
it was go to the combine. Even though if you ain't work out at the combine, you're still walking around and sizing each other up. Then it's like you leave the combine, and now you're just waiting to hear your name called, because you want to know what city am I about to be a part of. It's more than just football. What city and community am I going to be a part for the rest of my life could be.
Now, you two are pretty cool guys, but dealing with all of that, the nerves got to be crazy, right? Like, as a young man, as a teenager, the nerves got to be crazy, right, Tanner?
I tell you the truth, and one of the things about me, I have bad anxiety, especially around a lot of folks. I kind of like just went black, you know what I mean? I didn't think of nothing, man. Like, I feel like the journey itself, proved everything. Like, you don't have to sweat when, you put the work in. And so I wasn't even caring about, like, Fred just talked about thinking about the city. I won't even think about that.
Yeah. Wow.
I was just like, man, I'm here. I'm present because I earned the right to be here. Let me go through the motions of meeting these coaches, you know what I mean? Letting them do this body test and letting them see, because at that time, it was frowned upon to have pro days.
Yeah.
So when I told everybody, hey, I'll be running at the University of Miami, they wasn't happy with that. So things of that nature was transpiring, but at the same time, I knew I had to answer. I knew that with me saying that, that's gonna bring them, they're gonna have remarks. So now when I get down back to campus, I gotta make sure I prove myself right that was the best thing for me.
Fred, what about you, man? You don't seem like a guy that has much nerves.
He probably talk crap all
I
day.
would say it wasn't that I had nerves. It was just more of, it was a thing where you don't want no missteps.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You don't want no missteps. You want everything to be perfect, but this world ain't perfect. It's gonna be missteps.
And we also knew too, because a lot of us was kind of like taught that when we get here, make sure we speak well. You know what I mean? Make sure we're not doing nothing
crazy.
Like, we didn't want to have those whispers saying that we didn't interview well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one wants to come out of school and be looked at, that way.
And Fred, Logan might not have been drafted. However, he is on location at the Shrine Bowl. That's right, our guy Logan Paulson is at the Shrine Bowl for the first stop of this offseason. Logan taking in practice ahead of the Shrine Bowl. So you know what? Let's hear from our guy right now, because we miss him so much.
The guru.
Wow. It's time for Drive to the Draft. Welcoming in the fourth member of our crew. We miss you, buddy, the prospect professor, Logan Paulson from out in the Shrine Bowl. This is another year of you getting to the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl, that's out here doing work. Logan, how's it going so far?
BC, man, this has been a blast down here. We're down here in the Star in Dallas. It's a great facility, and it's great to see these guys that are maybe not household names getting an opportunity to kind of put their best foot forward. And again, there's a lot of NFL personnel here. I think there's over 20 GMs at this event, so it's awesome. It feels a little bit more guerrilla than the Senior Bowl, less media attention, but there's a great opportunity for a lot of these young football players.
Now, Logan, we know there are so many different things going on out there. There's so many different players out there, so much to look at. What position groups in particular are you paying attention to out there?
Yeah, so this is a little bit different than the Senior Bowl. I'm not really focusing on any specific position groups down here. This is about finding roles for guys. You know, do we have a spot for a third wide receiver with special teams upside, or a defensive end that can play first and second down, or defensive tackle with some pass rush juice, or an offensive lineman that has some swing flexibility? So we got to kind of find roles here in that 5th, 6th, 7th round, maybe even UDFA. That's kind of why we got to look at everybody down here at the Shrine Bowl.
Now, Logan, last year's Shrine Bowl offensive MVP was no other than our guy dollar bill, Ja'Cory Cross-Key-Merritt. Now, he ended up being a 7th-round pick for us. Do you see any other diamonds in the rough out there that can impress some people?
Yeah, so in terms of diamonds in the rough, a guy that really stuck out to me today was Ethan Burks from Texas. He's 6'6", he's 270 pounds. Again, maybe not the most twitchy athlete, but a guy with some inside-outside flexibility and would fit that first and second down run-stopping role. Today they had him he did a great job with that, but also did some drops in 7-on-7, showing off some of that athleticism. Another receiver is Kobe Young from Georgia. He's a big body. He's 6'4", he's 220 pounds, and he looks the part. And I was a little bit worried how he's going to run. He looked great today running, catching the football. And the other thing he did a great job of, Brian, was doing a great job on special teams as a gunner. So I love to see that because, again, these guys are going to have to find different roles to make this squad.
And Logan, don't just stop here at the Shrine Bowl. You will be in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. How excited are you to get out there and check out some of these seniors again?
I mean, the Senior Bowl is something that I'm getting more and more excited for every single day. It was crazy to see all those guys from Miami signing up late additions. I mean, Bain showing up, Bailey showing up. Those guys are going to be top 10 picks, and to get to watch them live in living color down there, watch all those guys that are going to be in the first round kind of put their best foot forward in Mobile is going to be a really special opportunity.
Logan, appreciate your time always. We miss you here in studio, especially your draft brother, Fred Smoot. We'll be hollering at you soon, but we know you're going to be a very busy man in the upcoming weeks. Now, fellas, the next step for the Prospect Professor is Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl. Logan will talk all things prospects and break down practice. You can catch Logan's full recap of the Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl on the Drive to the Draft podcast, streaming wherever you get your podcast. Now, we can't talk draft prospects without hearing from our very own self-proclaimed draft guru, Frederick Smoot. It's time for your top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. Now, since we have the draft guru on set, let's take a look at Fred's top 5 prospects in this draft. No surprise here at number 1, Fernando Mendoza just won a national championship, and everybody's feeling like he's going to be that number 1 overall pick. Then you have Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. You have Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami, another edge in David Bailey out of Texas Tech. Then Fred ends it off with offensive tackle out of Miami. To dive deeper into Fred's big board, let's send it over to the Get Loud crew. It is time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fitz. Security in every job.
BC, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. So we just saw your top 5 draft picks, but now we're expanding the board, and now we have your top 10 picks. So Smootradamus is here.
Yeah.
We're going to be hearing from him throughout the entire draft process.
Yes.
So take me through this.
Well, first of all, the cream of the crop, Mendoza. I love this kid. I don't think he has a weakness when it comes to the overall thing as a prospect. I think mentally he's there. I think personality-wise he's there. Put the mic in his face and he's going to win net. Put him on the field and he's going to win you a national championship. 6'4", 220 pounds, can get it done in the pocket, can get it done outside of the pocket. And I think this guy just has that it factor. All right, so he's the cream of the crop. Now, Arvell Reese. Now, as high as I have him, it's still a question mark with him.
Okay.
Is he an edge rusher? Is he a stand-up linebacker? How do you utilize him? He's one of those guys, you can easily draft him and use him the wrong way. I have seen this happen more than once. I have seen this happen, but the upside on this kid is ridiculous. Number 3, Reuben Bain. The bane of my existence. All right, listen to me. This kid has a motor that's nonstop. Physicality, that's what I want when it comes to my defensive end. I want them to be able to rush the pass on pressure packages. I want them to be able to stop the run. He's stout against the run. A lot of people going to try to say he has what we call kangaroo arms, saying his arms are not long enough. I don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, I don't either. Does stuff like that get overblown? You know how it is. Every draft process, his fingers only measured so long. Or his arms aren't that long.
Yeah.
And then it's like, have you watched the tape on this dude?
Hey, listen, the first round is looking for reasons why not to draft you.
Right.
More than they are looking for reasons why.
Right.
All right. I could have said Ruben Bain had one of the best pressure seasons in college football, but then you'll hit me with the but his arm's not long. I don't care.
Right.
The guys that he was rushing had long arms, right? So he showed you I can beat the guys with long arms. So I really don't matter. Now, you want to talk about long arms? Let's go to number 4.
Okay.
David Bailey. All right. Texas Tech.
He's an animal.
He is a sack machine. All right. The thing is, does he fit better in a 3-4? Does he fit better in a 4-3? What type of defensive end? I'm talking about long, got range, got speed, can turn the corner, good waist bend. Like the one thing you don't have sometimes with tall guys is they usually cannot turn the corner as quick as a shorter guy like Bain.
Okay.
All right. David Bailey can do that. He can rush off the edge. And I love the fact that he actually gets what I call ball disruption. If he doesn't get to the passer, he going to put them long arms up. He going to knock that ball down. He going to give you a chance. All right, Jeremiah Love, I think he's one of your favorites.
I like Jeremiah Love, but I have a hard time, unless the running back is truly generational.
Yeah.
Picking a guy in the top 10 as a running back.
We see it happen all the time.
It does, yeah.
All right, we see a running back team, a running back needy team that think they need a game changer. They think they need somebody that's going to break the game open.
Right.
And that's how you get these running backs, and they fall in the top 10. All of them don't turn to Christian McCaffrey. Sometimes you have an Ashton Genty in there, which, to be fair to him, we don't know what he has yet.
Yeah.
All right, because I don't feel like the Raiders really set him up for success. So we don't know what we really have right there. All right, next, Caleb Downs. Now, Caleb Downs is by far the best DB in this draft.
No question.
All right, best safety in this draft. We watch this every year where they project the safety in the top 10, and he never go in the top 10.
Why is that?
Cal Hamilton didn't go in the top 10, projected
Cal
in the top 10.
Hamilton's unbelievable.
Yeah, all of them. You can go any top safety in the league right now, none drafted in the top 10. Because it's one of those positions that always get pushed out of the top 10 by either a rush on quarterbacks, a rush on offensive linemen. I don't think that happens this year because the quarterbacks are not as deep as they used to be. The offensive linemen are kind of skewered through the first round. I think Caleb Downs will be a first-round top 10 pick.
I see your dude there at 9.
Sadiq.
There it is.
Kenyon Sadiq, I think he's a thumb-down version, just a little bit, of Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Same body type, run after the catch type dude, built like a goddess, built like a statue, chiseled. I love this kid. I think this kid going to be great. If he gets on the right team with the right quarterback, I think you're looking at a perennial Pro Bowler. I think you're looking at a guy that year in and year out is one of the best tight ends in football, better at the point of attack than people think, better blocker than people think. That's my man crush right now, Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's going to be able to do it. That's Fred Smoot's top 10 right there, and it ends with Terrell, Avion Terrell. Watch that kid, brother Terrell that's at the Falcons right now. He can go out, he can bang, cornerback. Had to put a cornerback in there.
Smoot has spoken. BC, back to you.
Shout out to Fred and Jenks, our Get Loud crew. Now, Logan, we know you have to get some thoughts on this top 10 from our other draft guru, Fred Smoot. Logan, what are your thoughts on this list from out there at the Shrine Bowl?
Thanks, BC. I look here, I start with number 2, Arvell Reese. Is he a good football player? Absolutely. But Fred, have you been watching the tape? I see a raw athlete. And again, those guys tend not to go in the top 10. I know people really, really like him. But again, what is his role at the next level? Edge rusher, off-ball linebacker. And I might be in the minority here, but that's my question about him. And then, again, Fred, no Kedrick Falk, no Sonny Styles. Those guys are excellent football players. I think definitely deserving of being in the top 10. And Fred, no wide receiver, Kenyon Sadiq over Carnell Tate. That seems a little bit ambitious to me, man. Again, who am I? I'm nobody. You're the draft expert. I'm just a guy trying to put in some work, watching some film, grinding some tape. But again, that's one man's opinion from down here in Dallas at the Shrine Bowl, here in the Star. BC, back to you.
fellas, here is a look at the top 10 picks in this year's draft. Raiders, Jets, and Cardinals at the top 3. And you see the Commanders at 7. Fellas, this is going to be a very intriguing draft. So let's talk more about it while we have the original draft guru in the building. This is Mission Ready, powered by Big Bear AI. Mission Ready AI for a rapidly evolving world. Fellas, we know when it comes to draft time, those top picks, they mean everything, especially when it comes to quarterback. And fellas, we could very well see 2 quarterbacks go in the top 2. Fred, how do you see that affecting the rest of this top 10?
It's 2 positions that force the draft, and it first forces the rhythm of the draft. One is quarterback. People overdraft their position all the time. Second is it's tackles. Offensive tackles. They can push people around. Right when you think of safety going in the top 10, not so quick, my friend. It's going to be an offensive tackle, offensive guard. There go the thing about it. Then you got a couple guys like Chamberlain and some other guys that can climb their draft board. And this is the thing about it. No draft board right now is concrete. It's very fluid right now. And some simple, like a great Senior Bowl performance can skyrocket another quarterback. A lot of people talking about Ty Simpson, quarterback from Alabama. All right, Ole Miss quarterback. It's some guys out there that I think can reshape this draft, and they can do it through what position are you drafted at. But every year we see this. A safety picked in the top 10, Caleb Downs. Every year we see a safety not picked in the top 10. That's just the way slide of the draft. I know Jay don't like that, but the truth hurts.
This is the most up in the air I think I've seen mock drafts in a really long time. I think a lot of that has to do with those quarterbacks. Now, fellas, I am going to ask you where y'all want to go at number 7, but let's not get there yet. What position groups overall in this draft do y'all want to see addressed, Tanner?
I think first and foremost, you want to talk about defensive end. You can always get another offensive lineman if it's someone there that's valuable.
Never have too many of those.
Wide receiver. You would love to have a young, speedy, fast wide receiver in here. And then defensive back. I mean, defensive back and linebacker. You see that? I done said almost every position. Just defense. But it's just one of those things, man. You can never not, look over somebody that comes available just to help any area on your team.
Well, you're right, Tanner. We want to put one youthful person in each room. That's really what you want to do. You want to find an edge. Don't forget, you want to probably look at tight end position also. This is another place where you want to fill some youth in. You might even want to bring another young running back into the fold. So it's one of them things you can only get what the draft bears. And every draft is going to be different. People would say this quarterback draft this year can't compare to the one 2 years ago. They're completely right. 2 different drafts. But if you look at this draft, it's a lot of edge rushers, more wide receivers than you think. It don't come off. It ain't got the super big names. But once you start to go 1 through about 7, all of these guys to me are the same. So you got a couple positions where it's stacked at, and corner's another position. There's a lot of corners out there.
And Fred, it's not just the first round, right? We want to get depth. We saw this year with all the injuries how important depth is. What are some other position groups you're looking at for us to fill?
Well, you got to ask yourself, where are our free agents? I think we got 30 free agents. That's going to dictate everything. It's going to dictate how, the what, and the when. All right? And you got to look down this roster and say, age-wise, who fits into my plan for the future? So maybe you have to move on from some of your older guys that you depended on. And I think that's what's going to change the way you go about the draft. Like, by the time you make it to the draft, free agency is over with. All right? So you done feel, wherever we don't fill in the gap at, in free agency, it will take turn in the draft.
And Fred, we just saw your big board. We did see some prospects you like. Are any of those prospects going at number 7 to the Washington Commanders?
Well, you would love for Arvell Reach just to fall right to you. And we can go to the youth and get Bang. You know what I'm saying? So it's all right, what do you want to expose at number 7? Usually, that's going to either be a big guy or a quarterback. We don't need a quarterback, so it's going to be an edge rusher or a tackle. We don't need a tackle, edge rusher.
Tanner, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I think first and foremost, just to rush in. And from there, I really don't care. I think whatever the best available player.
Because you trust AP.
The best available player for our team.
For sure. We all trust AP here. And fellas, what an offseason we have upon us. Logan's already getting started. He's already working. Let's take a look at some of these offseason dates. It is time for your winning numbers, brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And fellas, here is a look at some key dates for this offseason. January 31st, the Senior Bowl. Logan Paulson will be out there. Make sure you tune in to the Drive to the Draft podcast, streaming wherever you get your podcast. Logan and our producer Jason kill it every offseason. Real excited about this one coming back. Then February 3rd, we got the Pro Bowl games. And then February 8th, we got the Super Bowl. Then after the Super Bowl, February 23rd to March 2nd is the NFL Scouting Combine. And then April 24th is the NFL Draft out in Pittsburgh. Tanner, me, you, and B. Mitch will be out there. Really, really excited about that. But fellas, you heard me mention the Pro Bowl. Our punter, Tress Way, is heading out to San Fran for his third Pro Bowl games. He will be the starting punter for the NFC, an accomplishment he doesn't take lightly, and also an accomplishment that he credits to the best fans in the NFL. This is your Can't Miss Moment, presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders.
If he happens to be watching the show, that'd be wild. But there was one time I was walking through downtown Leesburg, and this guy just kind of stopped me. He said, "Hey, are you Tress?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, man, thanks for all the memories." Yeah. And that was so cool to hear. Like as a player, you know, like I go out and I just work hard. I get to play with my friends and just try and have fun and let it rip. But like you learn like with the fan base and the fun and the memories, and so. That is hopefully there's one day something like this that I just get to tell the fans like thank you guys for the memories. Like you get one NFL career. I'm so thankful that mine's been with one team. And so I'm just forever grateful of how everybody's treated me through the bombs, through the shanks, through the windy ones that suck, the ones that are down at the one, my family, my kids now.
Always great catching up with a legend, Tress Way. You can see our full interview on the Next Man Up podcast, streaming on the Commanders YouTube page. And you can catch Tress in the Pro Bowl games next Tuesday out in San Fran as part of the Super Bowl week festivities. And you can also catch our guy Fred Smoot and the Get Loud crew out on Radio Row in San Fran. And speaking of the Get Loud crew, they made some business decisions on this week's episode of Get Loud. This is your best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek, the most disruptive idea in ticketing. A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
I'm warming up and the guy on our sideline, he's in our bleachers behind our bench, and he just going back and forth with me. I'm like, bro, what did I do to you?
That was overthrow. That was up. Look who was the first one to congratulate
and I ain't even want to celebrate with you. Get out my way, Fletch. Get out my way. And I know Plex. Look at you. And you're laughing at me. Why? You laughed at me like the whole time. Look at you, man.
Just the little stuff I used to hear. I'm like, man, I wonder do they even getting the work done? Because those guys come down the stairs laughing at each other.
Fellas, right there. I like that new segment, Business Decision, on a special edition of the Get Loud podcast.
That's
you can
not
stream
the way I want to take a business decision.
Commanders YouTube page. Tanner, you got to be a part of that, man. How cool is that, yo?
No, it's cool because we get on Fred so much about his playing days, and he's a jokester. You know what I mean? People fail to realize how much we get from him now that he's not playing. But that was our time of getting on him because of what he did while he was playing. And I can't believe it, man. I can believe it, but I can't believe it.
I know. I pulled up to the table and asked for turn down service. This is what happened. Sometimes in life, you got to do the decision that's better for you. And I had just tackled this man twice. I was already beat up and hurt. And I feel bad for what happened to LeBron. Yeah. I do. I'm sorry, my friend. But one of us had to go down, and it wasn't going to be me.
I think that's the same game when he said, those guys are giants. Look at them.
Fred was copping please immediately and did it throughout the game, Fred. We appreciate you always being able to laugh at yourself and at others. For Logan Paulson, who's out on the road, the draft guru himself, I am your host, Brian Colbert Jr. here with Santana Moss and our other draft guru, Fred Smoot, making nothing but business decisions. We'll check y'all next week.
Big business.
Big business.
Command Center was filmed at Big Bear AI Command Center Studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.